Hey, it's Rusty and thanks for tuning in to Burning Cereal. Guess what we're making today? One of my favorites, Bacon Cheeseburger Soup. It's a bacon cheeseburger you eat with a spoon. I can't wait to make this because I'm starving. Let me go over the ingredients and let's get rolling. All right, so the ingredients, yeah, there's, again, a lot of stuff, but this is gonna be so good, so who really cares? Ingredients, ground beef, bacon, cheese, the best ingredients there are, but we gotta add a few more things. Beef broth, carrots, I know it sounds odd, but it actually tastes good in there. Celery, same thing. Onions, I'm putting less onions in there than normal, only because Mike and I can't stand onions. Basil, parsley flakes, pepper, salt, sour cream, flour for our roux, butter, and heavy whipping cream. All this mixed together is gonna give you the best soup that you've ever tasted. Let's start freaking cooking. All right, so what we're gonna do now is we are going to brown our ground beef, but you may have noticed there's stuff in the bottom of this pot. You're probably thinking to yourself, what the hell, doesn't that guy clean his pots? I fried up some bacon already. Lots of bacon for our bacon cheeseburger soup. But what I did was I kept a little bit of the bacon grease and put it inside the pot, and I'm going to brown the ground beef in the bacon grease. I'm not gonna show you how to fry bacon. If you don't know how to fry bacon, let us know. We'll do a video on how to fry bacon. But hopefully you already do. So let's go ahead and get our ground beef inside our pot. And start browning it. Want to do it on about a medium low so that it doesn't burn. But all you're gonna do is you're just gonna brown this beef up and then put it aside and let it drain. So let's brown this up and then we'll be right back. Okay, so the ground beef has been browned in this pot and sitting in the sink to drain. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna throw in a little bit of butter. We're gonna let this melt and then we're gonna start adding our vegetables. And don't do this over a really high heat because we don't want the butter to burn. You want to just melt it. And we're going to use the butter and these vegetables to get some of the drippings off the bottom of the pan, some of the stuck on stuff. So the butter's melted. Going to add in our celery, carrots, onions, and the parsley and basil. Stir this around for about 4 or 5 minutes. Let the onions get translucent. We're just gonna kind of saute this stuff. You don't wanna cook it down. Just give it a nice saute. Make sure everything's mixed around. And then once all this stuff is mixed up, that's when the fun starts. In the meantime, I want to give a little shout out to a friend of ours, Marianne, up in Washington. I know your weather's kind of nasty up there, so hopefully this nice bacon cheeseburger soup is going to warm you up. So give me a couple of minutes. We'll come back and start making this delicious. All right, so the vegetables are sauteed. You probably noticed, maybe you can, maybe you can't. There's a lot less vegetables in here than there was before. I like meat and I like cheese. I don't like vegetables. So I took some of the vegetables out. I think I just measured wrong, put too many vegetables in there. I will make sure that I get the adjustments right in the description down below. At this point, what we're gonna do now is we're gonna add the beef in. And we're also going to add the beef broth. Mix this all around. We're going to simmer it, or bring it to a boil, excuse me. Bring it to a boil, then we're going to simmer it for about, cover it up and simmer it for about 10 minutes. So let me get this back up to a boil, and we'll come right back. All right, so our beef broth and vegetable mixture, I brought it up to a boil. It's over on one of the other burners right now, just simmering. It's gonna simmer there for about 10 to 12 minutes. In the meantime, let's get our roux going. So I'm taking the pan that I cooked the bacon in, got it up to medium-high heat, put in the remaining butter, so it's about 3 tablespoons. And again, you'll notice I didn't clean the pan, using some of the bacon grease that was in there still. And what we're going to do is we're going to slowly add flour and try and thicken it up, make a little roux. That'll make our soup a little bit thicker. So we get our butter melted. And what we're going to do now is slowly incorporate the flour. You don't want to just dump it all in at one time. And the amount of flour is really going to be dependent on how thick you want this to be, because it'll just get lumpy. And you want to continuously stir it the whole time. Oh, that was way too much. And what we're also trying to do is cook off the flavor of the flour, which I'm not doing a very good job of. But just keep stirring as you add it. Luckily, this isn't in the main batch of food. So if I jack it up, I can start over. So I'm going to turn the heat off on this because I've got a few more minutes to wait on the simmer. We're going to wind up adding this beautiful mess to our soup. So we'll be right back. The soup base has been simmering for about 10-12 minutes. The roux is all done. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add some of the roux to the soup itself. And stir it in there, whisk it in. And again, this is a thickening agent. You can see it's already starting to thicken up. Mix that in, get it nice and stirred around. Now what we're going to do, add our cream. Mix that in well. Add the best ingredient there is, some bacon. Just crunch it up, drop it in there. As much as you people know how much I hate to have my hands dirty, this is killing me right now. Just tear it up, drop it in. And as always, you can never have too much bacon. Put in about 6 or 7 slices of bacon so far. So now I'm going to wash my hands and we'll be right back. Okay, so hands are clean. While we were away, Mike and I decided there wasn't enough bacon. So we put in more bacon. We're at probably 3/4 of a pound of bacon in here now. And it's looking pretty good. What you want to do now, add the salt and pepper. And now we're going to add the cheese. Once we add the cheese, there's no going back. You got to keep stirring and stirring and stirring. Don't add it all at the same time. Make sure that you're at medium-high heat. Once the cheese melts, gonna let it simmer for a little bit. Continue to stir. This is gonna be done. All right, soup's all done. Plated it up. Of course, Mike and I had to burning cereal it up a little bit. We threw some jalapenos in there, a little bit more bacon, a little bit more cheese, mushrooms. Can't have bacon cheeseburger without mushrooms, right? All right, well, it looks good. And I'll be honest, when I was making up that roux, kind of scared me a little bit. But as I dropped it inside the soup, mixed it all in, it blended so well. So let's see if I jacked up that roux or if it did its job. Oh, that's a big bite. That's a real big bite. It's a freaking bacon cheeseburger on a spoon. That's amazing. You got to try this. No bun. Okay, that's less calories, right? Throw a little mustard and ketchup in this thing. You're never going to know the difference. I appreciate you sticking around watching this. Remember to subscribe to our channel. We got a bunch of other videos to take a look at. Go visit our website, www.burningsereal.com. And we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. That's the camera? I'm always looking at that one. Now you got me confused. All right, so we've got our bacon. Ooh, not so angry, 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 not so angry. Oh, man. Oh, that's soup with jalapenos and mushrooms.